If your crochet scarf is suddenly turning into a triangle or your blanket is mysteriously shrinking, you are not alone. Today, I am sharing 7 crochet mistakes that I definitely made, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to fix them. Hey friends, I'm April, and I have been crocheting for 12 years.
Wow.
And I teach beginners how to fall in love with crochet one stitch at a time. So if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. First up on the list is death grip tension. When you start crocheting, it takes practice to learn how to hold your hook and your yarn. And there are 2 specific ways that are common to hold a crochet hook, and that is like a pencil or like a knife. I hold my crochet hook like a knife, but the tension is something that you need to get used to once you complete multiple projects. And once you get used to crocheting and understanding how you feel comfortable holding your hook and your yarn, that's when your tension is going to start to relax. Everything is new, so the tension sometimes is really, really tight. You're holding your crochet hook really, really tight, and every stitch you're doing just feels super tight. That project is not stretchy, it's not flexible, it doesn't feel like squishy, it just feels very stiff. And that happened to me so much in the beginning when I first started crocheting. Everything just felt really stiff, and I wasn't getting used to the flow of crochet. So this really is practice. And the only way that you're going to fix this is if you keep practicing on how you're holding your hook and your yarn together and what is the most comfortable way doing that. And that's how you're going to get your tension perfect. Just make sure to relax and just feel how the motions are going when you're crocheting. Just relax and relax your tension. Next up on the list is losing that first or last stitch. This one was a major problem for me when I first started crocheting. My blankets were shrinking and my crochet scarves were starting to look like triangles. I was miscounting and not understanding where my rows began and where they ended, and where I thought they began and where I thought they ended, and everything just looked really wonky, and the squares and rectangles were looking like and I was just getting very frustrated. That to me was something I really had to get over because it was becoming very frustrating for me, and I think for a beginner crocheter it will make you want to give up because you're very frustrated because things aren't looking the way they're supposed to. The solution, and something that I didn't really do until like years into crocheting, is using stitch markers. I wasn't using them that much, like I was every now and then, but I really should have used that in the beginning stages when I first started to learn to crochet. Doesn't mean you have to go and buy stitch markers. You can use bobby pins, safety pins, paper clips. Take a stitch marker and mark the first stitch and the last stitch of every row and move them up as you're working your project. That way you're always going to remember where that is, and you won't second guess yourself, because I always found I was second guessing where that first or last stitch was, and that was making my project look diagonal and wonky and just not straight at all, and it bothered me so much. So please use stitch markers, it will help you. Third on the list is miscounting that foundation chain. Foundation chain is called the foundation chain for a reason. It is the foundation of a crochet project. It is the first thing you will do to make any project. It's the foundation chain before row 1. So if you miscount this foundation chain, your project's just not going to work. If your blanket requires 150 chains for that foundation chain, you need to make sure that you're counting 150. So the way you can fix this, and the way you will never ever miscount your foundation chain, is using stitch markers again, and mark every 10 chains that you do. That way, when you're going back to count them, you're just doing 10, 20, 30, 40, and it'll be way easier. And if people are interrupting you while you do your foundation chain, that's also great, because there are a lot of distractions, and people should know better than to talk to you while you're counting stitches.
No.
They should, but they don't. So use your stitch markers for every 10. It will make your life so much easier. You will never miscount that foundation chain again. Next up on the list is ignoring the gauge swatch. Okay, I hate gauge swatches. I barely do them, even now, 12 years into crocheting, and I barely do them, but they are very important. And I feel like I definitely should have done them in the beginning when I first started crocheting. And for the beginners that are watching that need to kind of understand the importance of a gauge swatch and why you should do them, I'm going to tell you in a very condensed form so that I don't ramble. A gauge swatch for any pattern. So you're going to see at the beginning of your pattern the hook you need, the size hook, what the entire project, what it measures out to be. And then you're going to see a measurement for gauge. And gauge is usually a 4x4 square, which is a 4 inches by 4 inches, 4 inches high and 4 inches wide. So the 4 inches high is how many rows in 4 inches do you have? Let's say for a blanket. So how many rows in 4 inches? Let's say there's 10 rows in that blanket. So 10 rows, it says 10 rows, and then it says by, and then it will be how many stitches going horizontally. So the rows, let's say it's 20. So you have 10 rows for 20 stitches. That is your gauge. That's really it in a condensed form. And the reason we do that is, coming back to the first point that I was talking about, is tension. You want to be as close as possible to that pattern tension. You want that blanket to look exactly how it's supposed to. So if you do your gauge swatch and you understand the tension of the project, you understand how many stitches and how many rows that you need for that project of your 4x4 square, it will look exactly the same. So ignoring it, I mean, you could totally just make the blanket or the sweater or the scarf or whatever you're making. Gauge swatches are usually more important for wearables because you are catering to a size. So if you're catering to an extra small or you're catering to an extra large, doesn't matter what size, you want it to be those measurements. When you are finished this project, you want it to be that size. So the best way to do that is to make a gauge swatch because that pattern is catered to exactly what that 4x4 square is. Next up on the list is wrong hook for the yarn you're using. Reading yarn labels is a thing, not hard. You can definitely read a yarn label. If you've never crocheted or you've never gone yarn shopping or you've never looked at a yarn label ever, you will need to know what it means. And every yarn label will give you direction to what hook or an even needle size. It'll tell you the exact size that you need for that yarn. So it's really important as a crochet beginner to make sure that you are doing that, because if you're using the wrong hook size, it's not going to work. It's not going to look like the project you want to make. It's not going to come out that way. It's also going to be harder. If you're using a hook that is too small for the yarn, it's going to be very hard. Other way around. If you're using a hook that's too large for the yarn you're using, then the yarn is like really fine or lightweight, it's not going to work. So it really, really matters. Next up, waiting too long to frog a mistake. Now this one I have done so many times, and I have done it more times than I probably should have. When I see a mistake in my project, I was ignoring it and I was leaving it. And you know what happens? After you're done that project, you know exactly where that mistake is. And that's all you see. So I feel like I would have liked my project better. I would have liked that blanket better or that sweater better if I just fixed that mistake. So my advice to you, and I feel like this one is a little bit personal because I know some makers that actually don't mind some mistakes. It's handmade. It reminds them of, how they made it. Totally fine. I feel like it's personal and it's how you see your project. And I'm bothered by the mistakes. So now I frog them. If I see something, I completely undo the project and I just start from wherever that mistake is, fix it, continue on. I feel better about the project. I like it when it's done because I know it's perfect. And personally, that's the way I like it. So this one isn't so much of me telling you how to fix this mistake because some makers don't want to fix the mistakes. Like if the mistakes are completely changing the outcome of your project, absolutely you should frog it because it's not going to come out right. But if it's a misstitch and everything still looks fine, you definitely could leave it. I would suggest frogging it so that it looks perfect, but that's just my opinion. Last on the list, and I am so guilty for this, is skipping the finishing touches. Now, I have this gorgeous blanket here that I made. I will put this down below. It's a free pattern. But as you can see, there's just ends hanging out everywhere. Now, this blanket hasn't gone to the public eye yet. It hasn't been anywhere else in my house except for in my yarn cupboard. So I haven't touched this yet. I haven't weaved in any of these ends. but it is a good habit to have. I feel like weaving in the ends just completes your project and makes it look finished. And I know that if you're gifting it to someone or if you're selling your items, of course, you're going to weave in your ends, of course. But when you're making things personally for yourself, which I always recommend you do, always make things for yourself. Selfish crocheting is the best. Another finishing touch is blocking, and blocking changes your projects completely. It makes them look better. Everything just looks the same shape, especially with granny squares. I always block my granny squares. There are so many different ways to block your projects and your squares, and it changes the look of the project. It really does. It's a great habit to have. Don't skip those finishing touches because it will complete your projects and you'll just feel better. Promise. If you've made any of these mistakes, congratulations, you're officially a crocheter. We've all been there. Comment below on the biggest crochet mistakes you've made, or have I missed any? Please let me know. Let's help each other out. And don't forget, all my patterns are free, every single one of them. It's othcrochet.ca. Check them all out there. Until next time, see ya.